I'm back in my home country to explore one of Italy's best-kept secrets. This, it's stunning Adriatic coast. I'm continuing my epic 700-mile journey of the breathtaking east coast of Italy. Wow! Now this is a view. From magical Venice in the north, through majestic mountain ranges and historic hilltop towns.
I'm wondering when I'm gonna have a tea break.
Spectacular coastal roads revealing crystal clear waters. Tranquil and unspoiled, there is so much to explore. Inspired by my travels, I'll be cooking delicious dishes.
Look at that.
To share with some of the people I meet along the way.
Spettacolare. It's very delicious. No.
Before finally reaching the hill of the boat and the very end of the Roman Empire.
It's just awesome. Awesome.
My journey along the Adriatic began on the waterways of Venice. And now I'm hitting the road and heading south to Emilia-Romagna region. There are sections of coastal road like this all the way along the Adriatic, which hug the cliff edges. Over the next 200 miles, I'll be taken in two unmissable UNESCO World Heritage Sites. For the next stage of my Adriatic adventure, I'm heading inland to the beautiful town of Ravenna. Ravenna lies 6 miles inland from the coast and is a 2.5-hour drive from Venice. Its charming medieval center is just a square mile in size, a pedestrianized network of cobbled streets around a central piazza. There is only one way to go around Ravenna, on a bike. Once the capital of the Western Roman Empire, the city attracted highly skilled artists. And almost 2,000 years later, it's still a paradise for history and art lovers. But the main reason why people come to Ravenna is because this is the city of mosaic. Ravenna has one of the world's biggest collections of early Christian mosaics, and 8 of its buildings have protected UNESCO status, 7 of which are in the heart of the city. Romina Castiglione is a local mosaic artist.
Once a basilica?
Di San Vitale.
San Vitale.
Esatto.
Okay. So this is the Basilica of San Vitale.
Esatto,
and
è
it's
bellissima.
amazing.
Sì. Cristo proprio importantissimo al centro dell'abside e poi c'è il re Giustiniano.
So the last emperor, Re Giustiniano, he was the one who commissioned this beautiful artwork. Jesus always in the middle, as you would expect. How old?
15 secoli.
In 15 secoli,
fa.
1500 anni.
Esatto, esatto.
This is 1,500 years old, and it still looks like it's new. San Vitale is a Byzantine masterpiece, and the church's octagonal shape makes it unique. In the grounds of the church is the mausoleum of the Galla Placidia. This small cross-shaped building is home to a mosaic with Eastern influences.
Wow.
Eccoci qua.
I am speechless. I've never seen something so beautiful, all sparkling. You feel like you're actually under the stars. E tutti questi mosaici.
Sì, sì, sì.
And all made with this little mosaic. Quindi quanto tempo ci vuole a fare un servizio del genere?
Beh, storicamente ci sono voluti 30 anni circa.
Oh, 30 years to do the mosaic around here. 30 years. I'm wondering where do they get the ideas from? E l'idea da dove viene?
Dare un significato al discorso della morte.
See, all the idea is to give people hope of what they would find after death. That's where the symbols are. So you will see that there are a lot of doves, there are a lot of ships there.
I think this is where we lost a lot of art, worldwide, because we have too many distractions nowadays, and nobody wants to do these meticulous and beautiful little things anymore. Shame.
Thankfully, Romina is part of a thriving community keeping the art of mosaic alive. Just round the corner from San Vitale is the studio where she works.
Bello.
These artists restore ancient mosaics and design and create new pieces of work.
So this is where all the masterpiece happens. As you can see, there are people everywhere putting this little mosaic. This one is nearly there. I'm guessing, questo è chi fa la foto poi lo replica, no?
Esatto.
And so every church will send the picture of what they want and they replicate it.
This piece has been commissioned by a church in Lebanon.
Sicuro?
Certo, una prova.
Vado?
Certo.
Ok, va.
Proviamo a mettere
fammi
un po' di
vedere.
mappa.
I have to try to put at least one little piece of mosaic. Very relaxing.
Sì.
Now, somewhere in the world, they're gonna have a piece of mosaic with my little pieces in it. Eh? How about that?
This work of art is worth more than 40,000 euros, which is probably why they only let me do one little square. It's nearly lunchtime, and there is one food that this town is known for: a sandwich, but not any old sandwich. Piadina was the food of peasants in the Middle Ages, and this daily staple is still loved by the locals, who fill it with everything from ham and cheese to chocolate spread. This is one of Ravenna's oldest restaurants, and is famous for making the best piadina in the city. Buongiorno Rita, come stai?
Good morning.
The owner is Rita Mazzillo.
What a place you go here.
This is museum.
It's
of course,
fantastic.
yes.
Oh, it looks like a church. They're telling me that you make the best piadina in the city.
45 years
All right.
is the old recipe.
So the same recipe for
Same
45 years.
recipe, yes.
I want to see how they make it. One thing that you get straight away is the smell of the piadina. Proprio
It's
bello.
wonderful.
The piadina is made with coarse plain flour, an Italian version of lard, bicarbonate of soda, salt, and water. Patrizia has been making piadina to her family recipe since she was a little girl.
This is the ultimate peasant food. And what Patrizia was explaining to me, that the most important ingredients in making piadina is actually take your time. Because you need to knead the dough properly.
Io sono 35 anni.
35 anni. È tutto fatto a mano. Patrizia is 35 years that he's been doing piadina, all by hand, every single morning. Oh, the moment of truth. Woman.
Good.
See, one thing that you get straight away is the slightly saltiness of the bread. It's fantastic, fantastic thing to try. Now, I'm going my piadina. I'm gonna make my version of the piadina.
Let's see if I can impress Rita.
I'm gonna show you now how to make two versions of the piadina. One with vegetables, and I'm gonna make a pesto-flavored mayonnaise, and the other one with ham and cheese. Now, how do we make a rough pesto?
Choose the largest basil leaves, remove the stalks, and then chop. Roughly chop 2 cloves of garlic and add in the pine nuts.
I'm gonna put a little bit of the chopped basil leaves on top, because that will help me to blend everything together beautifully.
Add some salt and then the extra virgin olive oil.
If you have a good bottle of extra virgin olive oil in the cupboard and you don't know what to do, now is the time to use it, because you really want the flavor and the color of those fresh olives going there. So, come on, look at the color. Huh? Fantastico.
Finally, add pecorino or Parmesan cheese and mix together. Pesto can be drizzled on grilled chicken, stirred through pasta, or added to salad dressing. I'm combining it with a good quality mayonnaise.
Now you can see, look, all of a sudden your boring mayonnaise is looking sexy and it's gonna be super tasty. Come on, look at that. Pesto flavored mayonnaise is ready on the side. So what we do, the vegetable I'm using, you can pretty much use any vegetable you want. So if you got some leftover from your Sunday roast, keep them, season them with a little bit of salt, and use them for the piadina.
I'm using lightly grilled asparagus, aubergine, and courgettes.
Now the way to do it is to warm it up for about 30 seconds on each side. Cut the piadina in half. On the bottom, I'm gonna put some of the pesto mayonnaise, like this. Then I'm gonna put some of the vegetables.
Sprinkle on some dried oregano. It's as easy as making a sandwich.
And my vegetable piadina is done. Just simple as that.
And now, a traditional ham and cheese one.
I'm going to add scamorza. Now, scamorza is like a smoked cheese, okay? Smoked soft cheese. If you see the texture, and this is gonna be absolutely amazing with the ham.
Slice the cheese and add rockets.
It's gonna work really well with the rocket leaves because the rockets are peppery and the cheese is quite sweet.
And add your favorite ham.
Haha. The ultimate comfort foods. That's it. Right in the middle of Ravenna, roasted vegetable piadina and cheese and ham piadina.
But will my version meet with Rita's approval?
There you go. I don't have to feed you, do I?
Yeah.
There you go. So you got the pesto mayonnaise in there?
Wonderful. Wow.
Huh? Thank you for allowing me to use your piadina. Thank you.
You want to come in my restaurant?
To do what? To
Or
drink?
it? Yeah.
That's an offer I can't refuse. Bye-bye. Okay, let's go. Be gentle with me, eh? Please. Be gentle.
Leaving Ravenna behind, I'm heading further south and crossing into the Marche region.
There is one special place I just had to see. A tiny city with a big history that clings to the top of a mountain, San Marino.
An hour and a half's drive from Ravenna, it lies 12 miles from the coast. San Marino is the world's oldest country. Landlocked by Italy, its imposing fortress is a World Heritage Site, and it sits 2,500 feet above sea level. Founded in the 4th century, it's the 5th smallest nation in the world, just 24 square miles. It has its own government, flag, and head of state. Antonella Mularoni was head of state known as Captain Regent in 2013.
So this is the Kingdom of San Marino, and you are the queen.
No, I'm not the queen.
Yeah, but don't be too modest. Don't be too modest. If you're the queen, you're the queen.
No, it's true. It is the equivalent of the queen, with the
Okay.
difference that they are two. They change every 6 months, and they are selected among members of parliament. in
Oh,
San
so
Marino.
anyone can be the queen or the king.
Usually, they are members of parliament.
That's it. I'm going to move to San Marino.
Huh?
I want to be the king of San
and-
Marino.
Yeah.
What do you think is so special about San Marino?
San Marino is the most ancient republic in the world. It has always been independent. People are very proud of their history, of their tradition, of their institution.
Is it easy to become a resident here?
It's not easy. You must either have a wife or a husband in San Marino,
Yeah.
or to come in San Marino and invest and stay here to provide work for people.
My mom and dad always spoke to me about San Marino. They came here when they were young. I never had the chance to come here with them. But I remember I've always promised them that one day I would be here, so thank you.
So you kept
for
the
having-
promise.
I kept
For
my
them
promise,
and with them.
and I have to say they were right. This is just beautiful.
And there is one thing my mom told me to do if I came here. So Antonella leads me from the main square to the post office.
Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Tutto bene? Volevo tutto bene, grazie. Volevo stampare... non lo so dove si stampa. See, I know that is something probably silly for many of you, but to me, it's actually quite cool. This is my first stamp in my new passport, and I got a San Marino stamp, which not many people has.
Being one of the world's smallest countries, San Marino has always been vulnerable to attack. For more than 1,500 years, it was the Crossbow men who protected its independence. And today, a group of 70 locals continue the tradition.
Okay, questo per lei, questo per lei. 1, 2, 3, bang! Look at that! They actually got it! Incredible. See, this is super cool. I want to try now. Ma posso provare io?
No.
No?
No.
He said no way that he's gonna allow me to shoot it, just in case I kill someone.
Stefano Ugolini is the head of the Crossbow Man Federation.
Alto medioevo nell'Ottocento, tradizione del Palio del 3 settembre.
So they were explaining to me that the crossbow tradition goes back to the 1400s, when they used to be vigilant around the market, make sure that nobody would steal anything. And they just want to keep the tradition going because they want the young generation to understand what it's all about. Io sono pronto.
Te sei pronto? Io non rischio però.
No?
No.
See? I said, if I put an apple on my head and I'm gonna stand over there, would you shoot the bow arrow? He said, no way. What about a watermelon? E se mi metto un melone?
Sì, magari proviamo.
Proviamo.
No, sì.
Ah, with the watermelon is okay. Can we get a watermelon?
As well as striving to preserve its independence, San Marino also produces foods with protected status. I'm going to use the local honey to create a pudding fit for a capital region.
I am on top of San Marino, 700 meters above sea level, and I have to admit, it's a little bit nippy, but well worth it. Look at the view behind me. I do cook in the best places ever in Italy. Now, you guys have bread and butter pudding. I'm gonna do a recipe which is very similar, but using very local ingredients. I am sure that everybody gets one of these every Christmas, and probably only 10% of you will actually slice it and have it with a cup of tea. Everybody else will like, what am I gonna do with it?
First, cut the panettone into about 1.5 inch slices. And then cut again into triangles.
I love to use panettone for my pudding because usually with a bread and butter pudding, you will smother it with butter. With this one, you don't have to do it because panettone already has butter in it.
Place the pieces in the dish and press down.
Can you see all these little raisins? Don't throw them away because this is all flavor. Just scatter them all over. And then I'm using some local honey here, which I'm just gonna drizzle it as this. Now let me show you how to make the cold custard. Usually when you have a bread and butter pudding, you will put on the heat the custard and thicken it up. I'm using a completely different technique, which is much simpler and it works as good as.
For the cold custard, use 2 whole eggs and 4 yolks.
Just gently whisk. What I don't want you to do is to whisk too hard because otherwise it's going to start to foam and all the other ingredients, they don't blend in very well when it foams. In there, we're gonna pour a little bit of vanilla extract, probably a tablespoon of vanilla extract will do the job. Then I'm using some Marsala wine.
Use 3 tablespoons of this sweet wine and then add some custard sugar and whisk together. Add 400 milliliters of full-fat milk and a glug of double cream.
The double cream is gonna give extra richness. Job done. Your custard is ready. Okay, so I got my panettone with the honey in the dish. Get yourself a ladle. And what you want to do, slowly, slowly, make sure you pour the custard on the panettone. Now, once this is done, what I want you to do is to make sure you gently push the panettone into the custard.
Finally, to give it a nice crust, sprinkle over some brown sugar.
Now, you may be wondering, how am I going to cook the pudding here? Well, I asked the restaurant around the corner from here. There is a chef called Fabio, and I said to him, I begged him this morning, I said, is there any chance you can put the oven on? And very kindly, Fabio, he said yes. I kind of forced him. Che ne dici?
Molto bello.
Allora, nel forno, 160, 25...
And Fabio, by the way, is a Michelin-starred chef. No pressure.
I'm going to serve my panettone pudding with sweet ricotta. Now, in Italy, we use a lot of sweetened ricotta. I'm going to sweeten with honey.
Fold in the honey, and it's done. The pudding's been in the oven at 160 degrees for 25 minutes.
Il profumo è bellissimo, eh? And the smell is incredible. Now, look at that. See, that's what you want. You want the crust, you want all the custard beautiful and absorbed in the middle. Ok, ci mettiamo questo qua.
To finish, sprinkle with icing sugar.
Bellino, no?
Bellissimo.
Che ne dici? Look at that. Ce l'assaggiamo?
Certo.
Ah.
Prego.
Vai prima tu. Allora, I want the truth.
Fantastico.
Fantastico?
Croccante.
Fantastic is
Fresco.
my line usually, but it's okay. È croccante?
Croccante.
It's nice and crispy on top. That's the way it should be. This is just magnificent. Panettone and honey pudding with local ingredients done here in the beautiful San Marino with my friend Fabio.